So apparently Nick Castellanos is so good at his job that the manager of the Cardinals asked the umpires to check his bat because apparently having a chipped bat means that you get magical powers, and Nick Castellanos is basically using steroids. I don't understand the situation, but we're going to break it down in just a moment. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. If this is your first time on the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, as well as save yourself 20 bucks off. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek if you're going to any baseball games anytime soon. Garrett Cole, he might have secured the Cy Young Award in yesterday's performance against the Angels. The Brewers, honestly, they could be World Series favorites right now because of that rotation as well as their offense. They beat up on the Giants. And speaking of the Giants, they're no longer a first place team. Now, real quick before we get into the highlights from yesterday's games, I do want to update you guys on Brad Hand because the Blue Jays traded for this guy a few weeks ago, and I thought, oh no, the Blue Jays are about to lose ball games because Brad Hand, he seems like a nice guy, but he doesn't have it anymore. And we can see that because the Blue Jays actually released him. He has been DFA'd. I mean, I feel bad that he's now out of a job, but he should also feel bad for how horrible he's been. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what happened in that Jays game because we just brought up Brad Hand. So the Jays were facing off against the Orioles, and the Orioles, they've been fighting the Blue Jays the last few days. This was a roller coaster game, so fasten your seatbelts. Marcus Simeon, he launched his 33rd home run of 2021, which ties his career high, but he did it in 30 less games. He now has a 5.8 WAR. I mean, he's going to get some MVP votes along with Vlad Jr. and Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge and a bunch of other guys. Cedric Mullins walks in a run, and same with Ryan Mountcastle. The Blue Jays pitching was all over the place. Teoscar Hernandez drives in an RBI, and then Lourdes delivers with 2 RBIs. But Baltimore, like we mentioned, it was a roller coaster game. They did not give up. They fight back to score 2 in the 6th and the 7th to tie it up yet again. Grichuk, he gets the job done on a sacrifice fly, and then that gives Toronto the lead yet again. And Vlad Jr. helps out Jordan Romano for Romano's 15th save. And the Blue Jays, they're trying the best to stack W's, and they're still 4.5 games back of the wild card. Every time we bring them up, they're 4.5 games back. 2 other teams that are fighting for the wild card spot in the American League, the A's and the Mariners. So the Tigers, they faced off against the A's yesterday, and Harold Castro, who has 0 pop, he puts the ball in play, and he does it fairly well, in my opinion, with an RBI single. Then you have Marte and Jed Lowry making it 3-1. This home run from Marte was absolutely demolished. Not so fast, though. Miguel Cabrera, he ropes his 502nd career home run to tie it up, only to have Matt Olson and company take the lead back, and they go up 6-3, so there's 0 hope. Just kidding. Akil Baddoo, he injects some energy back into that lineup with a home run against James Caprillion. Then Harold apparently heard me say that he does not have any pop. He hits a home run. Then you have Scope and Miggy clutching up to reclaim the lead, and then the cherry on top, Akil Baddoo adds his 2nd RBI of the day, and Gregory Soto secures his 17th save. I'm telling you guys right now, the Tigers, they are set up to make the playoffs. Yes, the playoffs in 2022 if 2 things have to happen. They sign 1 more starting pitcher and they get Carlos Correa, and then once they call up Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson, it's going to be tough to beat them. Now, the Mariners are also going for a playoff spot. It's going to have to come from the wild card. So the A's, I think, are 2 games back. I'll throw up the standings right now. And the Mariners, they had back-to-back shutouts against the Astros, which is not easy to do. So we have a low-scoring game yet again. J.P. Crawford shows off the Gold Glove defense to save a run, and both starting pitchers were extremely stingy. Jake Odorizzi tosses 5 innings with 2 hits and 7 strikeouts, but Gilbert Logan was even better. 5 shutout innings. He got some help from Mitch Haniger over in right field with a web gem. Abraham Toro delivers again. This wasn't a grand slam, but it was a game-winning RBI from a sacrifice fly, and then Paul Sewald, he strikes out Carlos Correa in the 8th and then grabs the save in the 9th inning. So again, back-to-back shutouts against a really good Astros lineup. The Mariners are on a 2-game winning streak, and they're 3.5 games back of the wild card. So I believe it's the Yankees, the Red Sox, then you have the A's, the Mariners, and the Blue Jays all going for that 2nd spot. Speaking of wild card teams, the Padres are 14 games back after losing this one, so of course they're going to have to stay in the wild card contention, and they got beat up yesterday by Pavin Smith. He doubles in Ketel Marte, and then Pavin scores on a wild pitch. Josh Van Meter turns on one for a 2-run bomb, and then you have Nick Ahmed and Josh Rojas teaming up to end a 6-run 3rd inning against Yu Darvish, and his ERA is now sailing. It is over 4 for the first time since I think 2019. I mean, he was my pick to win the Cy Young, so he's making me look straight up stupid. Luke Weaver only allows 1 earned run in 6 innings and only 4 base hits. And with this loss, not only are the Padres far from first place in their own division, but they actually lost sole possession of 2nd place in the wild card because the Reds, They split the doubleheader, but again, they're in second place. Now, in game number 1 of that doubleheader, the Cardinals actually beat the Reds by 1 single run, so it was a close game. But this is a battle for the wild card. So the Padres, the Cardinals, the Reds, they're all going for it. And Paul Goldschmidt, this man has been playing like an MVP in the second half. He belts a 440-foot nuke. Harrison Bader pimps one, which was kind of scary because this ball almost did not go out. And then the Reds, they must have taken offense to that scoring because they immediately score 3 in the bottom of the second, only to have Edmundo Sosa tied up on a sac fly. And Joey Votto, he's able to bring in Nick Castellanos, I think on a double. Castellanos unhitches the wagon, but Goldie comes in clutch. A 441-foot shot the other way. That is so hard to do, but it proves just how strong Goldie is. Gallegos adds another save, and Goldie, I just want to mention, now has a 4.5 WAR, which is more than Bryce Harper. He has a 333 batting average and a 172 OPS plus in the second half. Those are godly numbers. Now, speaking of godly numbers, in game number 2, Nick Castellanos was so good, he hits a solo shot and then a grand slam that St. Louis actually checked his bat because I guess this entire series, he's been using a bat that was chipped at the top. Maybe that means that he can swing it a little bit faster because it's not as heavy. I'm not sure. Either way, Nick Castellanos, he gave the bat to a kid and then said this after the game.
I decided to give this dangerous piece of lumber to some lucky kid that was sitting above the dugout. So at the end of the day, everybody wins.
So he's basically saying, hey, if that bat is so dangerous, how come I just gave it to a kid? And also, I'm that guy, so stop. Kyle Farmer socks his 13th home run of the season after hitting just 9 home runs in his first 188 big league games. I didn't even know that Delino DeShields was on the Reds, but here he goes with an RBI double. Nolan Arenado is now just 3 home runs away from 30, but you have Eugenio Suarez and the Reds taking the W, so the Reds are a half game ahead of the Padres for second place, the wild card. Speaking of being a half game ahead, the Dodgers beat the Braves yesterday 4-3 after Max Muncy went lefty-lefty with an Apotaco off Max Fried, and then Austin Barnes muscles up for a home run, and Max Scherzer, he was himself yesterday. He had 6 shutout innings, 3 hits, 0 walks on 9 strikeouts, and now has a 1.9 ERA and a 13 strikeouts per 9 with the Dodgers. He got even better. Eddie Rosario plays spoiler though, so Scherzer does not get the victory. Then Dansby Swanson grabs the lead with a solo shot, but Trey Turner gets on base. He's been an on-base machine for LA. No, Trey Turner and Justin Turner are not brothers. AJ Pollock brings in Justin, and then Joe Kelly gets the save. So the Dodgers are now a half game ahead of the Giants because the Giants lost 5-3 yesterday against Milwaukee. Lorenzo Cain slaps a 2-run single in the second. Then you have Chris Bryant and Buster Posey doing their jobs, and they tied up in the 5th. And then Kevin Gausman has to get taken out of the game. He had 7 strikeouts in 5 innings. Jace Peterson loves that idea. Mr. Clutch, he has been really good. Lorenzo Cain hits a home run, and then Willy Adames, he has cooled off a tad, but he brings in Colton Wong for Josh Hader, and Josh Hader strikes out 3 in the 9th inning for his 29th save. He now has 465 strikeouts in his last 270-ish innings. The dude is almost unhittable. So Milwaukee have won 4 in a row. The Giants have lost 4 in a row, and again, they're a half game back of the Dodgers for first place. The first time that they've not been in first since April, I think. The Red Sox were facing off against their arch nemesis and daddy, the Tampa Bay Rays. You have Vasquez putting the ball in play. So Boston, they go up 1-0 with Chris Sale on the bump. So you think that they're going to pretty much cruise to a victory. Wander Franco has been unstoppable, so he has other ideas. He hits a 2-run opposite field home run. He extends his on-base streak to 32 games. He now has a 323 batting average and a 937 OPS over his last 23 games. Guys, he is just 20 years old. You should not be doing this. Christian Vasquez, he hits a home run to tie it up later on, and then Joey Wendell runs into an out to save Garrett Whitlock, and then it happens again in the next inning, so I guess it was just run on contact for Tampa Bay. Jan Duran with 2 outs delivers with an RBI base hit, and Ottavino locks it down, so they are 2 games ahead of the A's for second place in the wild card. The Yankees versus the Angels, this one's going to be fairly easy to talk about because it wasn't even really close in my opinion, and that was because Garrett Cole was on the mound. Luke Voit has been a monster since returning from the IL. He finds a hole for 2 RBIs. Brett Gardner, who in my opinion is actually playing better than Joey Gallo, ropes an RBI single, and Fletcher, he proves that Garrett Cole is not a machine, but I think that made Garrett even angrier because he goes 7 innings, does not walk a single hitter, and had 15 strikeouts in 7 innings. He now has a 2.73 ERA and a 2.53 FIP, and he's leading all of American League starters in WAR, so I think right now he is the favorite. Aaron Judge grabs his 30th home run, so he has a 299 batting average, 75 RBIs, and a near 160 OPS plus. He is a top 5 player in baseball when healthy. You can argue with me all day long. I think I'm right. Chapman comes in for his 25th save. He has been looking much better as of late. And yeah, the Yankees win easy, 4-1. If you guys don't remember, Gavin Sheets burst onto the scenes when he was first called up by the White Sox, and then they sent him down, not because he was bad, but because they had to make room for Louis Bob. But they called him back up yesterday, and he returned with a bang. And that was in addition with Carlos Rodon taking advantage of the Pittsburgh Pirates' putrid offense. 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, only 1 earned run. And Moncada, he extends his hitting streak to 16 games. Yasmani has an RBI fielder's choice. Garcia makes it 5-1, and yes, the Pirates score a few, but then you have Gavin Sheets hitting his 2nd home run of the game, and Liam Hendricks has, I believe, a 2-inning save, so he has been absolutely dominant as of late. Craig Kimbrell is not going to be the closer. I thought they were going to reverse the roles going into the final maybe 2 months of the season, but Gavin Sheets now has 8 home runs, 20 RBIs, and a 133 OPS plus in his first 30 games. That is really good. Alberto Mondesi, he finally returned from the injured list. This kid is one of my favorite players in all of baseball. He doubles, he steals a base in his first game back, and then, oh yeah, he gets all of this one off Logan Allen. I think that this kid can be one of the top 10 shortstop in baseball if he can stay healthy. Well, actually, he's probably going to move because Bobby Witt Jr. is going to get called up. Either way, though, Mondesi now has 5 home runs and 11 RBIs in the 11 games that he has played this year. Jackson Kowar was fantastic, but he was screwed over by his defense. He goes 6 innings, 0 earned runs, and has 6 strikeouts. Yu Chang with the pinch hit bang, he ties it up, and then he helps out Logan Allen at second base as he stayed in for defense. Logan Allen has only given up 3 earned runs in his last 13 innings, so tip my cap to him because he was the worst starting pitcher in baseball to begin the season. This one goes to extras where Austin Hedges, he absolutely dismantled this baseball, 497 feet to take the lead. Obviously, that's a joke. Yu Chang doubles in a run, and then Trevor Stephan secures his first save, and Cleveland, they're winning a lot lately. We have the Rockies versus the Rangers, and Texas exploded for 5 runs in the 2nd inning. And then they don't score for the rest of the game. And the Rockies, yes, actually do in fact make the comeback. And in my opinion, it was started and ended by Brendan Rodgers. He belts a 416-foot home run that kickstarts the offense. Ryan McMahon singles in a run as Colorado slowly but surely brings it to a 5-4 deficit. And then Rodgers delivers with a 2-run double, and the Rangers completely fall apart. They have 4 errors in the final inning. Yes, 4 errors, 1 inning, and the Rockies, they come away with a 9-5 victory. And then last but not least, the Cubs versus the Twins. Joe Ryan was making his debut. If you guys don't remember, he was the big piece in the Nelson Cruz trade. He dominated in the Olympics as well as AAA. But who is this guy? 29-year-old Frank Schwindel, who was cut by the A's a few months ago. He had a 3-run home run, so he now has a 337 batting average and 7 home runs with 21 RBIs, and I think 23 games for the Cubs. He has been insane. But that was just one bad pitch for Joe Ryan. He tossed 5 innings with 5 strikeouts. But Justin Steele, he stole the show yesterday. 5 shutout innings, only 1 base hit. Then Albert Alzoli comes in and throws 4 shutout innings, only allowing 1 base hit. So between those 2 young guys, 9 shutout innings, only 2 hits allowed with, I think, 10 strikeouts. That'll do it. All right, everyone. Well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think the Dodgers are going to stay in first place? Do you think the Red Sox are going to make a comeback for the wild card? Let me know your thoughts. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off. Sorry, I had an itch right there. And enjoy this day in MLB history.
82. Fly ball.